This message is to Mr. President Donald Trump and to every general and political appointee sitting in his military cabinet. My name is Major Retired Richard Ojeda, and I wore this nation's uniform and fought this nation's wars for 24 years. I'm speaking to you as a combat soldier who understands orders and understands lines that you do not cross. Last week, one of your senior military commanders was asked in a congressional hearing about using military force inside the United States against American citizens. And he said if an order came down to do so, he would carry out that order. On my back, I've got the names of 13 of my brothers who never returned home from war. I want you to hear me loud and clear when I say this. They did not die for this. They did not die so the President of the United States could label people who disagree with him as domestic terrorists and enemies from within. The real enemy is any person in leadership that tries to turn the weapons of war on the American citizens and calls it patriotism. So when you say the enemy is within, Mr. President, you're right. The enemy of our Constitution is sitting inside the Oval Office. I've seen war. I've picked up a rifle and manned a post. I know exactly what the enemy looks like when this nation is under attack. So when I hear what's coming out of your White House right now, I recognize it better than most because I've seen this con job before. I saw it when it was time to lace up our boots and when politicians like you needed a story strong enough to send young men and women into hell and call it service. I watched communities get wiped out over weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist. Millions of people lost their lives because our leaders were willing to put people in harm's way over a lie. I remember the faces. I remember the fear. I remember the kids. And I remember what it's like when you return home and realize it was all for nothing. I know the weight that it carries to realize that the government you once believed in, bled for, and fought for sent you into battle over a lie. But not one time, not one damn time, when I was standing in the line of fire, did I look to my left or my right and ask my brother how he voted before I decided if I would defend him. Now you're taking that same logic, the logic that collapses nations, and you're trying to turn it against Americans on American soil. You're trying to make people afraid to speak, afraid to protest, afraid to disagree with you in the name of terrorism and patriotism. And I'm not going to sit by and watch you bring home the very thing we were sent overseas to fight. One day my time on this earth will be over, and I'm going to see my brothers again. And when I do, I want to be able to look them in the eye and say, I upheld the oath. I defended the principles we bled for, and I didn't stay quiet while America turned on itself. My brothers that did not return home were not suckers and losers like you once said. They were men of honor who served this nation and upheld their oath to protect and defend the Constitution. And I carry their sacrifice with me every single day. That's why today I'm calling on every military veteran, active duty service member, Guard, Reserve, Commander, and Gold Star family across this nation. Remember your oath. We did not take an oath to a president. We did not take an oath to a political party. We took an oath to the Constitution of the United States to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And if any of my brothers were here today, they would be sickened by what this country is being asked to accept. To every active duty service member, stand up. Remember your oath. To every veteran across this nation, our oath does not die with retirement. We have a duty to uphold it at all costs. And to every military commander, I want you to remember Nuremberg. I was just following orders isn't a defense for war crimes. And to you, Mr. President, we don't defend America by hunting Americans. We defend America by protecting American citizens, even when it comes to protecting them from our own president. We're not going to drop bombs on nonprofits because you don't agree with them. We aren't going to treat American citizens like military targets just because you don't like what they say about you. And we're not going to let anyone steal the freedoms that our brothers and sisters bled and died for on the battlefield. Not even you, Mr. President. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.